Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Helling. This week, New York Governor Kathy Hochul unveiled her $252 billion executive budget that she presented to state lawmakers. As she laid out in her State of the State a week ago, the governor is calling for billions of dollars in tax cuts and rebates to help bring down the cost of living for middle-class families.
But the truth is, many families do continue to struggle. Nationwide inflation, the rising costs at the grocery store, every month working New Yorkers having to face such difficult choices on how to stretch all their dollars. That's why this budget is laser focused on putting money back in New Yorkers' pockets.
A stronger than expected economy has given the state a $5 billion surplus that Governor Hochul is proposing to spend on rebate checks of up to $500 for taxpayers, along with an income tax cut for the middle class to be phased in over the next 2 years. Also, an expanded child tax credit up to $1,000 per child, as well as expanded childcare and free school breakfast and lunch for every student.
So when you add all this up, the tax credit for the little ones, your family's inflation refund, school breakfast and lunch, plus the middle class tax cut, this puts nearly $5,000 back in the pockets of many New York families.
The governor will boost school funding by nearly 5%, but at the same time is calling on lawmakers to, after nearly 20 years, update the foundation aid formula that determines how much school districts get in state funding. The governor will also provide funding to help school districts secure students' cell phones. Hochul, who for more than a year has said that smartphones have become too much of a distraction for students, is proposing districts ban mobile devices the entire school day.
I'm announcing today a proposal that will transform our classrooms, return them to a place of learning. And that is a new statewide policy to make classrooms in the state of New York distraction-free, so our children can focus on the things that matter, learning. By the start of the next school year, every student will be required to disconnect from their devices during the school hours, bell to bell. That means during class, at lunch, in the hallways. Our kids will finally be freed from the endless disruptions of social media and all the mental health pressures that come from it.
The governor is also proposing spending $8 million to help New York State Police beef up security at the northern border, to help catch smugglers trying to get fentanyl and weapons across the border. Lawmakers will spend the next 2 months scrutinizing the budget that's due April 1st. We asked North Country Assemblyman Billy Jones and Matt Simpson about the governor's budget proposals.
Well, $252 billion is a large number, an increase of last year's budget. So we'll just have to delve into it. Literally, as you know, we've just heard the governor speak on it. We just got a copy of the budget. And as I always say, right after we do see the governor's proposed budget, we'll be delving into it, seeing some of the specific areas that it deals with, the North Country and my district, and how that will affect anywhere from infrastructure funding to childcare to anything in between. It's a large number, and it's a scary number to a lot of people. And we need to make sure that we are able to pay for it. They mentioned some of the revenue streams, some of that are coming back higher than anticipated. But certainly what I talk about in this budget, what it should be, is about affordability. We saw some of the proposals with middle class tax cuts, child tax credit, some of those areas. Yes, whenever we can, we should be putting money back into the pockets of our taxpayers.
The governor painted a picture that our revenues were coming in much higher than expected, and at a time when we really should be more conservative with our spending, because affordability is the #1 issue, and that includes property taxes, income taxes, cost of goods. Just being a New York State resident is more costly. We should be doing everything we can to return back those excess funds. Now, the governor did highlight a middle class tax cut, which is absolutely needed. Year after year, you'll hear myself as well as many of my colleagues say, we don't have a revenue problem. What we have is a spending problem. And here we're going to spend every dollar that we've taken in and expand government rather than cut it back and make New York State truly more affordable.
And North Country State Senator Dan Steck released a statement saying what is needed to make New York more affordable is action that restores fiscal sanity to the state and at the same time provides immediate relief to middle-class families. Steck says rather than do that, the governor presented a budget that he says continues the same trends of high taxes and overspending.